Let's go to my place so I can give you some good advice on the best way to study. Probably you want to learn things for long-term memory. In that case, it's important to have all your attention to the thing you're going to learn and actively attend to the information. For example, to study in a place free from distractions, such as your phone and television. That isn't because you're going to have a boring time. It's a way for your brain to focus and receive the information. Studying over a number of sessions give you the time you need to adequately process the information. Those who study regularly remember things way better than those who do all of their studying in a marathon. If we dig a little deeper to find techniques to learn detail, we could associate things with common items that you are very familiar with, or you could utilize positive imagery or humor. You could come up with a song, joke, or rhyme. By visualizing the information we are studying, remembering will be way easier. Pay attention to photographs or create your own visual by drawing figures in the margins of your notes or use a highlighter. And now I'll pass over the word to Christian. So what do you think, Christian?
Oh, I didn't see you there. Hi, I'm going to talk about my best tips for studying about a subject and how I usually study for tests. My best tips are try to be ambitious about the subject. It's always easier to learn that way. And don't get stuck with details. Just try to learn the most important things. For example, in a long text, it would be hard to memorize all the details. Just remember the most important stuff. When I study, I often take short breaks so that I don't become bored. This doesn't happen when I study English, of course, but in other subjects that happens. The reason to why I take short breaks is because I have noticed that if I read a large amount of text for a long time, I often lose focus and I'm not really getting in any information. I have sessions when I completely focus on the text and close out everything around me, and that helps me very much for when I'm going to study a long text. And then when I feel like I'm not focusing anymore, I take a break.
Some people learn about subjects in different ways.
By that, I mean, for example, not only to read about it, but also talk about the text and listen to someone else talking about it. Some people draw mind maps to get a better grip on the information, and some draw pictures to visualize the thing that they're learning about. I've noticed that if I say some bits of what I'm reading, it's easier for me to remember. As everyone learns things in different ways, it makes it important to know which way or ways is best for you.
Thank you, Christian. Now it's my turn.
Okej, kör.
Har du tänkt börja snart eller?
Jag har redan börjat.
Varför sa du inget? Okay. The best way for me to learn is to read out loud and repeat what I'm reading. I do it consistently. I often use a friend or a family member to turn the text I'm reading into questions that he or she questions me. But that way I'll remember it much longer when I'm going to read it for the first time. I also write down some keywords on a little piece of paper and bring it with me all day. So whenever I can, I pick up my paper with keywords and read it. When I do this, I can memorize long and complex text for a long time. Oh, hi there. Nej, fucking. Jag måste stå upp den. Vad gör jag? Okay. Another way to learn is to try to read about related things. To read about the background facts about the subject. If you study this way, you get a larger perspective of the subject, and due to that you will learn more. The last thing you can do to improvise your studying techniques is to stop procrastinating your homework. Instead, just do it directly. Just do it!
Thank you, Andreas, for your great presentation. I'm going to talk about my text now, which I will sum up in 3 points, and then I will say my whole presentation. And the first point is use more senses. It will help you to learn and study better. 2. Write mind maps and small pictures or sketches on the things you want to remember. Write keywords and make questions. And the third point, take pauses in your studying. Study in intervals and don't forget to take breaks. So one of my techniques to study, which many people don't think about, is the usage of several senses combined together to achieve one of the best ways to memorize knowledge. It has been scientifically proved that using more senses when you study is much more effective than just using only one sense. For instance, if you're going to read a text which is full of unnecessary details and many facts, it is better to think about these facts in action instead of just fast reading through them and hoping you'll remember them all. Instead, you should write down your thoughts and maybe try to articulate the text out loud so you can use your sense of hearing too. Draw a picture or a sketch of something similar to the thing that reminds you of that fact you want to remember. So you use your seeing senses and your imagination as well. We are already up on 2 or 3 senses, which is enough. If you're not satisfied with your result, you could always find out new ways to manipulate more senses. We have 5 senses that are eager to be used to learn. So use them. If there is a chain of events to memorize, like the carbonate circle, it is better to first write down the events in right order inside of blobs within a mind map, like this. Then just draw a little figure of something that looks and reminds you of the word that you're trying to remember. I'm the king of the world! Fresh air, even I need it sometimes. When your assignment is to memorize many facts in long text, you should always write keywords because keywords is the key of summarizing long texts. And after you're done with writing down the keywords, always make sure to create study questions about these keywords to interrogate yourself to see what you know and what you need to practice on. So now I come to my last but not least point, and this is about the one who wants to study should always study in intervals and take pauses of 20 to I'm gonna say 30 minutes to let the new information settle in your brain. The phase when you feel like your brain totally freezes and you just cannot study anymore. That is the perfect time to take a short pause in your studying, letting your brain rest for some minutes and later on get back on track to study more effectively and productively.
So, this was some of my best tips about learning new information and studying.
No, this was some of my best tips. Let me down.
Fine. It was some of our best tips about learning new information.
No, you're still wrong. It was some of our group's best ways of learning to study and the best way to learn.
Okay, fine, Dennis, you're right.
Yeah. Now when our parts are done, when we have already talked about all of the things, all of our opinions of the best way to learn.
Yes.
Yeah, and now we're going to show you some videos about what?
When we interview other students at Poolen, we ask them what their opinion is on the best way to learn and how they usually study in the best way for tests.
Yes. So now let's go on to the videos.
Hi Oscar, I thought that you could be with us on the program. I have just 2 questions for you, so I'll make it quick. My first question is, what is your best studying technique?
I like to cut off the cell phone and my computer because they easily distract me, so I can't study from the TV. I just like to focus for an hour or 2.
Which way do you think is the best way to learn?
To listen at to the teacher and take notes.
Which way do you think is the best way to learn?
Well, it depends on the subject, but for me, it's having the teacher show what has to be done or discuss it, and then having, like, if it's history, like, or humanities, something's fun, like having a discussion in class, because then you get more people, especially teenagers, active, and you get them involved and they want to be in the discussion. Because if the teacher stands there for 80 minutes talking, you're not going to listen. You might listen for the first 15 minutes, but you're not going to listen for 80 minutes. So it has to be varied.
So, which way do you think is the best way to learn, Oscar?
I think the best way to learn is by like, first you need a system. You need a system for everything. And my system is I need to listen to things. I need to see things for learning them. So for example,
So, okay, so when you study, what is the best technique to study?
I usually read through the papers and then I repeat it to myself, and then I use my mom to test me on stuff.
Okay, it's interrogate you.
I have some glossaries I need to learn. First, I need to see them. Then I need to write them. Then I need to like speak them out loud. That's my way of learning. That's my system.
Listen to the teacher, I think, and take notes.
What is the best environment to study in, according to you?
Well, at home, I would say.
At home?
Yeah, in my room.
Probably like school.
In school?
Yeah.
So not at home?
No, because you want to get, there's so much else to do when you're home.
What is the best environment to study in, according to you?
According to me, I'm studying best in like small groups, and I prefer when it's quiet. Too much noise make my brain like go wild.
Okay.
I recently discovered that you study very efficiently in the library. You get a lot done because it's a lot more quiet, and the other people studying there are also focused. So yeah, you get a lot done there.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's go to my place so I can give you some good advice. Ta den. Let's go to my place so I can give you some good advice. Vad fan!
Ja, precis.
No, pass over.
I'm ready!
Okej, fan, nu alltså. Nu tar du bort det där. Ta bort det.
Get stuck with details. Just try to learn the important things. It's much easier to learn. Oh, hi there. I didn't see you. Nej, det var fel. Oh, I didn't see you there. My best... Fan!
Alltså kom igen! Okej, vi kör igen.
Okay. Oh, nej, men du kan inte...
It's also easier for some people to learn about the subject in different ways. But it's also better for some people to learn about the subject. Some people learn about subjects in different ways. For example, they find it fuck! For some people, it's easier to learn about a subject not only by reading it, but also to listen about fuck!
Okej.
Du bara...
Jag
Det här är Andreas.
Hallå, sluta nu.
Så, prata seriöst.
Hallå.
Seriöst.
Okay. Thank you, Chris.
Säg.
Thank you, Christian. It's now my turn.
Gå in igen.
Varför gick du fram?
Ja! He or she questions me. Glömmer jag sa questions me. Ska jag gå in med fortfarande?
Getting more senses when you study. It's much more effective. You're not dissatisfied.
Nej, men hör de mig?
Yes.
And they give their tips, their best tips on their
On their best opinions to study. Den var ju så bra där. Ja. Vad fan gjorde du så? Varför gjorde du så? Varför? Det går ju inte så.
Jag får inte göra
Nej.
så. Förlåt.
Du kör.
Thanks for watching everybody.
Hand me
Nej,
Right, my name is Ron.
My name is what? My name is my name is its name Sadie. My name is my name is what? My name is its name Sadie. My name is excuse me.
Another way to learn is to try about